want to talk about something that I think many people secretly struggle with, which is how do you know when it's actually time to let go? Because let's be honest, life would be a lot easier if your soul would just send you an email with a subject line like, "My dear human, please leave this relationship immediately. Kind regards, your soul." But yeah, unfortunately, that is not how it works. Instead, life tends to be a little bit more subtle. And that's where we, sometimes get confused. Because often you don't know whether you're being invited to let go or whether you're simply just uncomfortable. You don't know whether it's intuition or fear, whether it's truth or impatience. And so you stay. You think about it, you analyze it, you journal about it, talk with your friends about it, talk with your coach about it, or with ChatGPT. And somehow you're still not sure. So today I want to share a few things I've noticed, not as rules, but see them as invitations. Because one thing I've learned is that your soul rarely screams, it just whispers. And the question is, are you listening? The first sign is this: something still works, but it no longer feels alive. And I think this is one of the most overlooked signs, because most people wait until something is broken, until the relationship just falls apart, until the business collapses, until they're completely exhausted, until life forces to change somehow. But often life or your soul starts speaking much earlier. You simply notice that the aliveness is gone, the expansion is gone, the energy is gone. From the outside, everything may look fine, but inside, something has already started leaving. Okay, the second thing is that your body keeps talking to you. Your mind might be saying, "This is perfectly reasonable," but your body says, "No, thank you." And the funny thing is, the body is incredibly patient. It will whisper at first, a little contraction, a little heaviness, a little lack of energy. But if you ignore it long enough, the whispers tend to become louder, because your body is often the first place where truth becomes visible, long before your mind catches up. The third sign is that life keeps repeating the lesson. Have you ever noticed that? You think you've moved on from something, and then somehow, there it is again. The same conversation, the same challenge, the same pattern, the same invitation, maybe a different person, a different situation, but same lesson. Life is surprisingly creative, but also surprisingly repetitive. And often that's because there's something you're not fully seeing yet, or something you're already seeing, but haven't fully embodied yet. Okay, the fourth sign is one I've experienced many times myself, is you spend more energy maintaining the identity than living the truth. And that's a big one, because at some point it becomes exhausting, not because the truth is difficult, but because pretending takes so much energy. Explaining takes energy. Performing takes energy. Maintaining an image takes energy. Trying to be who you've always been, it just takes energy. And eventually you start feeling that cost, right? Not necessarily as pain, but as exhaustion. And the final sign, the fifth one, is perhaps the simplest one, but probably also the most uncomfortable one. And that is, you already know. Not completely, not with 100% certainty, not with a 5-year strategic plan attached to it, unfortunately, but somewhere inside, you already know. And that's the difficult part, because most of us are waiting for certainty. We're waiting for life to remove all risk. We're waiting for a sign so obvious that even our fear will agree to it. But that's just not how it works. Growth usually asks for us to trust before certainty arrives. And that's why letting go can feel so challenging. Because you're not letting go of a relationship, a business, an identity, or a dream. You're letting go of the version of yourself that needed it. And that is a sacred process. And not an easy one, but a sacred one. So maybe the question isn't, how do I know? Maybe the question is, what am I already sensing that I've been afraid to trust? Because sometimes life is not asking you to find a new answer. Sometimes it's simply asking you to stop arguing with the one that's already there. So I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Have you ever experienced a moment where you knew it was time to let go before you could fully explain why? And if you enjoy these conversations around embodiment, self-trust, soul consciousness, human evolution, multidimensionality, please subscribe to my channel. And again, thank you so much for being here.